Hello and welcome to another episode of the Portrait Profit Show. I am so glad you're here with me today on Labor Day 2022. You're here? That's fantastic. I'm so glad to see you. Yep, I'm working. Of course I am. I love this stuff. I'm thrilled to be with you today on this beautiful Monday to share different things about the business side of photography. My name is Jim Landers, and my mission, well, it's simple. I help portrait photographers like you make a great income doing what they love. Each week, you get tips and systems on the business side of photography designed to help you gain a mastery over marketing and sales, reducing the struggles that most photographers face so you can finally get what you deserve. You're in the right place. Welcome to the Portrait Profit Show. The Portrait Profit Show is brought to you by Digital Pro Lab and Landers Photography School. And Digital Pro Lab has a special offer that I'll be sharing with you at the end of this lesson. And so does Landers Photography School. We both have 15% off. Well, I might as well just tell you right now, if you use the promo code 15OFF at checkout, you get 15% off. Now, for Landers Photography School, that's with group classes, not our private classes, not our coaching, not our programs, but our individual group classes that will have usually between 3 and 8 in them. So they're still relatively small. So 15 off. Use that promo code and you get, well, 15% off. Oh, man. So glad you guys are here with me today. Before leaving any comments or clicking that like button or love button, do me a favor. We use a platform called StreamYard to be able to simulcast this show to several different places. We simulcast it to 5 different Facebook pages, 1 LinkedIn page, and 2 YouTube channels. And so there's people watching who you don't know, but if you grant StreamYard permission, you see it going across the bottom of your screen right now, then I will know who's here. Now, if you don't do that, you want to remain anonymous, that's fine. I won't know that you're here. But if you're okay with me knowing and okay with me saying hi and then using your name, well, then click that button. Now, if you've done it before, if you've watched the show and you've done it before, it'll remember, unless you're doing it from a new email or a new, possibly a new computer. I don't know how that part works. But if you're using the same computer you have before, it already knows. But if you haven't, then please grant StreamYard permission so I know you're here. Now, do me a favor. As soon as you click that link, tell me that you're here by entering in the comment section #live. #live. Do that for me right now. Enter in #live. Now, if you're watching this as the replay, then do me a favor and enter in #replay. But if you're watching live right now, enter in #live. That makes it where I know that you're here. Oh, man, I'm so glad you're here. Let's see. I'm going to take a look. I can see Dave. How's it going, Dave? And Steve, I'm glad you're here. Lupe, how are you doing? Good to see you again. And Robin, yay, Robin. A whole bunch of Facebook users, which is, I'm glad you're here. I just won't know who it is without you clicking that link that you see going across the bottom of the screen right now. Now, by the way, that link going across the bottom of the screen, you'd have to actually type it in yourself into the browser. But if you go up to the original post, now the original post is a little bit long, so you're going to have to click down, click that more button so you can see all the way down, because it's at the bottom where it gives you that link where it says streamyard.com/Facebook. And clicking on that just makes it where I can see your name and your picture. Oh, man. Vivo. Glad you're here. Wesley, how's it going, Wesley? So glad you're here. Great to see all you guys. Thank you. If you're watching live, do me a favor, enter in #live. That way I know you're here. Plus, when you leave a comment, I know who it is that I can direct the answer to. And I do encourage comments and questions. And I do appreciate those likes and those loves. So click that like button. By the way, if you're on your cell phone, you can click that like button a million times, that love button a million times, as many times as you want. And of course, I encourage it if you're hearing something that you appreciate. So thank you for being here today. Really appreciate it. Now, a couple of things I wanted to let you know. For instance, I have some things that I don't charge for. In addition to this show, that I prepare for every week to bring to you. But I also want to help you out individually. And so what I have is a business assessment consultation. It's going to be about 20, 30 minutes. I schedule it for about 30. And sometimes it goes a little long, but the goal for the business assessment consultation is just to talk about you and your business, where you're at. It could be talking about marketing. It could be talking about your price list. Oh, a lot of times it's a price list. It could be an annual evaluation. How are we doing? But you get to use that time however you want, and I give you one of those every single year. So if you want to, if you haven't done it in a while, you can sign up again. If you want to use this as an annual review, which there are some who do that, then you're welcome to do that. Again, I don't charge anything for it, and so the address to go straight to my calendar, I put it on the screen, but I'm going to put it in the comments section real quick. Putting that in the comments. So you should see that starting now. But that's in the comments section, you'll see the link straight to my calendar. That way you can just take whatever time is best for you. And that makes it easy. So if you need to reschedule, it goes 6 months out. So if you feel like you're good, you don't need any help, well, then don't use this link. If you feel like you could use some help within the next 60 days, use that link. Sign up for this free business assessment consultation. I've got something else that's free. What? Yeah. By the way, I want to say shout out to Janice. I'm glad you're here. And Stacia. Todd, how are you doing, Todd? I'm glad you're here. And Chuck. It says Charlie Ray, but I know that guy. That's Chuck. Glad you're here. And Todd, you're listening while driving. I appreciate that. All right, so now I wanted to share with you one more free thing. I don't charge anything for this. I take a photographer to lunch with me every single week on Tuesday. And I take you to lunch at the Dominion Country Club. Now, the reason it's on Tuesday is because I've been having lunch at the club on Tuesdays since 2002. Yeah, 2 decades. And I meet there with a group of friends who are part of my Rotary Club. And what happens at a Rotary Club meeting is there is a speaker who's brought in to speak about usually a subject you don't know anything about, because it's just all across the board. And we get to hear a different point of view. That's a fantastic place to be. So not only do you get to hear that speaker, but then afterwards you and I get to talk for a little while, maybe 30 minutes, maybe an hour, about who you are, what your business is, what your goal is. We get to shoot the breeze. Just sitting, we walk away from the meeting area. Of course, people leave pretty quickly afterwards, but we do walk away from that meeting area and just visit for a little while. That's Lunch with Landers, and let me put that in the comments section real quick as well. That way you don't have to type it out. So comments, put that there. All right, so you should be seeing that right now in the comment section, just down into the news feed. If you have it set where it's at the bottom, some of you have it set where it's at the newest things at the top. So whichever way, that should be right there. And to the person who says, "Can you see me?" It says Facebook user, so I'm not at this point able to see you, not yet. I believe that as soon as you click that link, it just happens immediately. Let me put that link in the comments also. Facebook, StreamYard.com/Facebook. So I'll do that right now. All right. And almost there. I think I've got it. Check it one more time. Then tell you what it's for. All right, so I'm about to put in the comments a link to give StreamYard permission to use your name, just in case. There we go. All right, so that's what I just put into the the comments section is a link to give StreamYard permission to see you. So just in case it's not working so far, then you can just use that link. It might be a little bit easier anyway. Pam, I'm glad you're here. Tony, how's it going, Tony? I enjoyed that lunch visiting with you. In fact, there's several of you here that have taken advantage of Lunch with Landers. So good. Take advantage of Lunch with Landers. That's what it's for. Oh, man. So we're here on this wonderful Monday to talk about some wonderful people. Us. We're awesome, wonderful photographers. And I want to ask this question and then give some motivation and then some steps to make it even better. So we're talking today about who are you to call yourself a photographer? And we are wonderful, fantastic people. But does being a photographer just mean that you know exactly where that button is that causes the shutter to release? What about someone with an Instagram account with some nice pictures? What does it take to call yourself a photographer? And one step even further, how do you become perceived as an expert? Some mentioned to me that standards have fallen over the years. Is that true? Or is it just change? Well, not too long ago, being a photographer meant something a bit different. If you wanted to be seen as a photographer, you had a studio of your own. You did not work out of the house. Maybe you had a dark room. You knew how to mix chemicals. You learned and loved the art of printing. Of course, you needed an impressive portfolio, exhibiting a real mastery over the craft. I mean, if you were caught using one of those 3 program modes, program mode, aperture priority, shutter priority, or auto mode, well, let's just say you didn't use them. I mean, those were for amateurs, right? Real photographers could expose their images with better consistency than any program or auto mode. Some may say that photography has changed, but great photography will always be about more than taking pictures. It's about capturing passing moments, telling stories, freezing time, in addition to all the technical aspects. For many years, anyone with a smartphone and a social media account can call themselves a photographer. But if you really want to be seen as a photographer, as someone with expertise and experience, there are some things you can do that are going to cause you to stand out. How about take the time to learn the basics of composition and lighting, the basics of your camera, all the different modes. Learn to use it in all lighting conditions, not just when the light is perfect. Use it in all conditions, not just when the subject is fantastic. How about this? Make sure your equipment is up to par and that you have all the equipment that you need. This doesn't necessarily mean that you have the most expensive gear that you can afford. Well, it means maybe the most expensive gear you can afford, but not necessarily the most expensive gear, period. But your images should be crisp and clear and exposed properly. How about this? Build an impressive portfolio that shows what it is you want to do. Not everything you have the ability to press the shutter button in front of, because you sell what you show. And then I have one more. As always, Put your heart and soul into your work, not just when you're behind the camera, but also in continuing your education. There's so much to learn that even if you took classes and you could study for the rest of your life, just the subject of photography, you'd still not learn it all, no matter what your age. Even if photography studying was your full-time job, you'd never learn it all. It's just not possible. So do yourself a favor and add to your budget classes in photography and the business side of photography. So who are you to call yourself a photographer? You are a fantastic, wonderful, amazing creative who cares about doing the best you can. You care about your clients. You care about the world around you. Bottom line, you freaking rock. So let's talk about how you rock in 4 different ways. You wonderful, amazing, creative. Number 1, everyone has a story to share. As a portrait photographer, we get to help our clients tell their story. Maybe it's a tale of overcoming difficulties or of following their dreams and reaching their goals. Maybe it's finding a partner and creating a family. Whatever their story, it's what makes our story, their story, it's what makes us who we are. And portrait photographers know these stories are worth telling. So we listen to the things our clients are proud of, what they value, and where they see themselves in the future. And we use that information to create custom portraiture that is unique to our clients. Number 2, a photographer preserves moments, making them forever. Photographers share stories in many ways that words cannot express. What we do can capture the emotions of the moment, freezing it in time. We photographers play an important role in preserving history and memories. They give us a way to time travel and relive moments. Number 3, photographers document experiences and preserve history. Photographers in general preserve history, documenting the human experience in a different way than words can. Our world, well, it's in constant change. Photographs help us to remember who we are and who we were, reminding us of the important moments in our lives. Photographs also give us a window into the lives of others. We photographers use our talent to shine a light on the beauty and humanity that exists all around us, increasing our hope, inspiring us to believe in our ability to become better than we were yesterday. Photographers help the world see through new eyes. And the 4th of these 4, photographers are powerful storytellers, reaching far beyond the present. Every day, portrait photographers are incredibly privileged to create images that tell the stories of our valued clients. They get to enjoy our efforts their entire lives. But unlike professions such as a doctor, it doesn't end when their life ends. Our work lives on through their children, through their grandchildren. It even spans the rest of time for that family. It's like magic, preserving the present and enabling the future generations to visually experience the past, to make something that did not exist before, and to turn what is normal today into art is both the fundamental challenge and the fundamental joy of being a photographer. It doesn't come because we have a camera. It comes because we have a vision. And we continue to learn the tools that cause us to evolve and expand our passion. You know, if you didn't know it already, portrait photographer, you have a high value job. A portrait photographer preserves moments that will never be experienced again. Each portrait photographer sees the world in a unique way and shares their vision with the rest of us. You turn vision into reality. That's some kind of magic. Photographers create the visual imagery. Repeat that. Photographers create the visual imagery that our clients get to look back on with unrivaled clarity and recall the emotions that they felt. Time continues to move forward. Photography allows us to pause and reflect, to experience our history, to know ourselves. For those reasons, I believe that portrait photography is among the most important jobs of our time. And because of its very nature, transcends our time, putting what we do into a unique category all its own. Now, before I go any further, I want to encourage you, make a comment, ask a question, hit that like button, hit that love button, and you know what? Go one step further. I want to increase the number of people who are watching this show live. So help me by clicking share. It's right there at the bottom of that main of the original post. Click share. Let other people know about it. Help us to get more people watching the Portrait Prophet Show. In my opinion, and it wouldn't surprise me if this was an opinion that many have, one of the greatest ways to learn and grow is to share what you know with others. Don't keep it to yourself. Share it. Let other people know too. All right. I'm looking at some of these comments. Man, I'm glad you guys are here. Hey, Shelby. Glad you're here. San Antonio life. Well, that sounds interesting. I'm glad you're here. Cool. Okay. Well, I don't know what that means, but I hear you. Let's see. Yeah, Pam, I'm really glad you're here watching live. It has been a little while, but man, I'm glad you're here. And Lupe, thank you for sharing this with Laura Ramos. I appreciate that. Oh, good. All right. So we've just spent some time talking about how fantastic and wonderful you are and what it is that you do. Now, I want you to keep this in mind with this next section, because here's some thoughts and some action steps that I want you to take in order to uplift yourself as a human, as a person, and as a photographer, and in the eyes of others. All right. So, photographers rock. You guys rock. What about the fact, though, that we slow down? That sometimes we feel like we're not good enough? That we experience difficulties in attempting to reach the vision of what it is that we want? How do we fix that? I mean, we rock, right? You do. Well, for each of us, there is a combination of tools that we can use to fix us. But I'm going to talk about something. It's one thing, it's on your screen right now. One thing that can benefit all of us. And then I'm going to share the steps that make it work. This is self-inspiration. Sure, while it's certainly a great thing that we are inspired by others, unless we have the spark inside of us that I'm going to come back to in just a moment, then outside influence can only go so far. Like a car, so many of us are just revving our engine, but that energy fades until something else causes us to rev up again. We go from inspiration to inspiration, but don't really seem to get anywhere. It's like you're the inflatable flailing arm tube man at the neighborhood used car park. You have a ton of energy, excitement. You work hard, but you continue to struggle. Stuck in relatively the same place despite your efforts. And eventually, too many of us wonderful photographers burn out. And we burn out believing that since we gave it everything we had, that it must be something or someone else that is the reason. Other photographers charging too little? Our clients not being willing to pay an amount that sustains us? If you feel that way, I understand. But they aren't to blame. If you have that spark that I mentioned a moment ago, you have something that can grow. That spark is self-inspiration. And it's based on your beliefs written down and reviewed daily. Again, self-inspiration is based on your beliefs written down and reviewed daily. The bad news is that you will continue to be challenged by moments where you feel stuck, uninspired, and unmotivated, where you feel overwhelmed, hurt, and exhausted. I mean, that's part of life. And while you know the best way to get out of the rut is to take action, to keep on keeping on, and not wait for things to be just right, even though we know that, how do we really continue to continue? Because we understand the concept, but we are still where we are. It's hard. It seems like our efforts don't actually cause us to break free of the problems. But there's good news. Really good news. Because if we do it right, and I'll share the steps in just a moment of what right means, we can leverage the power of self inspiration and stop revving from inspiration to inspiration. It's the ability to inspire ourselves to make positive change in our lives, regardless of our current situation. And it's something that only takes a handful of steps to make a difference. And I'm about to share it with you. Now, self-inspiration starts with having a positive outlook on life, something that many creatives have, well, or maybe had plenty of. But even then, we can get it back. Even when things are tough, we believe that more opportunities are ahead. This positivity gives us strength to continue through the difficulties. Those who use the tool of self-inspiration seek new opportunities and ways to improve their skills and their value to their clients and themselves. Constantly learning and growing is going to increase your excitement for the future. The self-inspired take action. They don't wait for something to happen. They make things happen. But again, self-inspiration can be like revving an engine, unless there are a few things that are done at the beginning and then reviewed daily. We're aware of the power of photographs. And we also know that words are important too. Choosing the right words to describe what it is that you do, why you do it, and what you believe in can physically and emotionally rejuvenate you each time you read it. I'm going to give you the action steps. So take some good notes. Pull out your, if you don't have, good. I'm looking at the comments. I'm glad you're here. Glad you made it. Oh man, good. Again, I want to encourage you guys, if you are here watching live, do me a favor, enter in hashtag live. That tells me that you're watching live. If you're watching the replay, then enter in hashtag replay. Hashtag live or hashtag replay. Now, if you've already done it, you don't need to do it again. But for each one of you, do me a favor and do that real quick. I also encourage you to click that share button. Let other people know what's going on here. This is a good thing for all of us. When we grow, not only are we helping ourselves, but we are helping others because others are watching us. And when we uplift everyone, when everyone is contributing to getting better and uplifting, then, for instance, charging an amount that causes us to make a living becomes normal. In most other professions, charging enough to make a living is normal. Not in all, but in the ones you want it is. And photography is something you want. So therefore, the better we educate not only ourselves, but share with others, the more likely that's going to happen. So if you believe that, then I believe you're going to click that share button right now and let other people know about this and other good things that you learn along your path. All right. I said I was going to give you the action steps to self-inspiration. So I'm challenging you with these action steps. I'm challenging you today to full stop. Think about what you do. The incredibly important role you play, not only in the present, but in what will soon become history. You are creating the history that future generations will look back at. By the way, they'll be the images that people look back at and say, oh, those were the olden times, or those must have been the good old days when, things were simpler. I mean, you may not see it this way, but that's how it will look in the future. Do you really believe that life was easier 100 years ago? Without the advances in medical care, grocery stores filled with everything great to eat. Oh, and one of my personal favorites, air conditioning. And so much more. Yeah, guys, a person with an open mind will see that we've got it so much easier than in the past. Some would say we have it too easy. That we're bothered by the little things that should never have bothered us. That's for a different conversation, though. Today, I want you to take a moment to write down what it is you really do. Define in detail the value you bring with your passion to your vocation. Review or write out, and the reason why I say review, some of you have already done these things. Review or write out your mission statement. Mission is, what am I doing? What's my purpose? Number 2, your vision. What am I heading towards? Where am I going? What will things look like when I get to what this effort accumulates to? Number 3, your value statement. What do I believe in? So write out these 3 things. These are your steps. Your mission statement, your vision statement, and your value statement. By the way, there's a total of 6 of these, but these are some of the most important ones of the like, they're all important, or I wouldn't have included them. But I'm only going to share with you these 3. Now in my classes, I do share all 6 of them. In fact, I give templates and help and all that kind of stuff to help you write them. But you do this on your own. Write your mission, your vision, and your value statements today. Create each of these 3 statements for your business, and then, or maybe you do this first, do the same thing for your life. Create a mission statement for your life, a vision statement for your life, and the value statement for your life. Deliberate over the words. Make them real. Make them specific. And make them motivational. The right words should challenge you. And they should guide you to be able to to consistently perform at your best and drive you to achieve your vision. Now, once we've done this, the 3 statements for your business, the 3 statements for your life, I want you to print them out and put them right here in your workspace so that you can see them and review them often. They're going to motivate you when you have an approaching deadline, an important meeting, or clients in some way depending on you. That is tough. So at those moments when you feel lost, defeated, when you question yourself or your intent or your abilities, read your statements and experience your own words inspiring and motivating you to continue, to rise above the difficulties, to see what you're doing as the right thing to do, despite someone else's opinion, and reach your potential. Man, doing these steps of self-inspiration help you to become more of who you already are. Because you rock already. You're just going to rock even more. Because writing your steps, writing your mission, vision, and value statements for both your business and your life, and reviewing them daily, if not more often than that, helps you progress towards your dreams. So, I've done that. What's next? All right. By the way, I want to shout out to Stephen and Roseanne, and there's probably a few others. Sorry if I've missed you. I do try to, when I see a name, I do try to say it. If it says Facebook user, I'm not able to say hi, but not to directly. Just say, hey, Facebook user, or YouTube or wherever. There's some people watching on LinkedIn too. Chantel, glad you're here. Awesome. If you guys are watching live, do me a favor, enter in hashtag live. If you're watching the replay, enter in hashtag replay. But if the things that I've been saying are resonating with you, will you do me a favor real quick and just write the word yes in the comments? Just the word yes. If anything I've said resonates with you, if it makes sense, if there's some piece of it that's helping you, that's motivating you, if in some way it's resonating with you, do me a favor right now and just enter in the word yes. Simple as that. Tell me that what I'm doing is doing something for you. It's affecting you in some way. Even if it's making you think I'm crazy and just out of touch. If that's what's happening, well, then say yes to that statement. But if something I'm saying, anything, is resonating with you, enter in the word yes or see. I like that. Thanks, Chantel. Thanks, Pam and Dave, Stacia, Steve. Oh, you guys are awesome. And there's some more, and I know I've missed some. I apologize. There's some that seem to be delayed, and I don't see them right off the bat, so I apologize for not saying your name. But again, if something I'm saying today is resonating with you, hit yes. Now, I said what's next? Once we've written those 3 statements for both our business and for our life, what's next? All right. I want you to define what you want out of this life. Define your goals. For yourself and for your business. By the way, your business is something you're passionate about, you enjoy doing. Most of us do it because we love it and because we actually need the income. Not everybody's in that situation, but that's the majority. And so you're doing something you love, it has a fantastic side effect, and that is a good income. Assuming you do things right, of course, but you have to know where you're going or don't anticipate ever getting there. If you're going on a road trip, don't you have to define to where so that you can plan? If it's a long enough distance away, you're going to have to plan for an overnight stay. Maybe multiple overnight stays. Shouldn't you know ahead of time before you get out on the road? Too many photographers get out on the road and get 20 miles and run out of gas. And then kind of fumble around trying to find some more gas somewhere, and they wind up finding some. And so they go another 20, 25 miles down the road and then do it again. Guys, that's hard. A photography business, being self-employed is hard enough as it is. You're making it harder by not defining your goals, putting them down on paper, typing them out wherever is best for you, putting them in your environment so you can visit them every day. You've got to define your goals. The second, give your goals a date and put them on your calendar. I look at my calendar every day. I'm assuming that you guys do too. It's rare that I don't look at my calendar. I may have a day here and there every once in a while, of course, and it's usually a planned day, but there's nothing, so I'm not looking at the calendar then. But otherwise, I'm looking at my calendar. So put your goals on it. Now, there's a lot more to it than that, but not with the time we have available. The third one, and by the way, there are 7 of these. And when I'm done with the 7, that ends the lesson. And although I'll have some more stuff for you at the end. Number 3, act as quickly as possible, with a caveat, you do need to do your due diligence. But act as quickly as possible. By the way, if it's perfect, you waited too long. It should not be perfect. You should not get to the point where I think this is perfect. This is just right. Now I can finally move forward on it. Guys, move forward. Have a good, strong base. Things that make sense. A timeline of what it is you're going to do, but move forward on it as quickly as possible. Because no matter what, even if you get to the point where you think this is it, this is perfect, I guarantee you, you're going to find something that needs improvement. So you may as well get going, because it's going to happen anyway. The 4th, track your progress. We need to know where we're at. We need to know that we're reaching our goals and we're moving in the direction that causes us to reach them. When we track our goals, we can see the progress clearly. We can also see where we're lacking. So track your progress. Number 5 of 7, seek the opinions of those who are thorough and tough. Don't seek the easy opinions. Don't seek the yes men in your life. Seek the opinions of those who are thorough and tough. Those who will give you an opinion. Those who have an opinion and are not afraid to share it. Those will be people who lift you up, even though sometimes what they say doesn't feel like it. But be tough and seek opinions of those who are tough and thorough. Number 6, show appreciation to those people, to others, to anything, to every single time you experience something that is positive. Acknowledge it. Say something about it. And maybe even write a thank you note that you had printed at Digital Pro Lab that has your beautiful artwork on the front and clear it's nothing printed on the inside, so you can write your message of gratitude. Put that in the mail, and you'll have done something that was normal 30 plus years ago that is incredibly rare today. Show appreciation. Now that is also something you do for yourself. When you track your progress and you see that you're progressing in the direction you want to go, do some minor celebrations. At least a little fist pump. Yes! Maybe go out to dinner with someone you appreciate, a significant other, your family. Show appreciation not only to the world around you, but to you. Because you are working hard. You are making things happen. And then finally, number 7, review your business and personal mission, vision, and value statements daily. It's going to be really easy because you have it right here in front of you. Right at your computer, right on the wall, somewhere where you can read it regularly. Read your mission statement regularly. Read your vision statement. Read your value statement. So who are you to call yourself a photographer? You are wonderful. You are fantastic. You have all the tools you need for self-inspiration. You just have to take a few steps and remind yourself of how wonderful you are. Now, I mentioned I had a couple of announcements, things to share. And so I'm going to do that. I'm going to look at the comments real quick. Thank you, Pam. Pam said, love your background. This background is a Valentine's gift earlier this year from my wife, Robin. So those cameras are part of our camera collection, but the display that they're on came from something that she just envisioned that I had as a background for the show and for my classes. So there's times when I put another background in front of it, but usually it's just this one. And this is, I believe, the third background that we've had. In 2 years, so we don't change it often. But that is thanks to my wife, Robin, who did that, put it together, and by the way, every once in a while changes it. It's always similar, but it's not always the same. So there's an opportunity to see it. Every once in a while, look at that background and watch for the change. By the way, that the on air, that was a Father's Day gift. So from Robin and the boys. So it makes me happy. All right. Absolutely. Chantel, Steve, I appreciate those comments. Now, I want to share with you that I have a couple of classes coming up, some group classes that you can take advantage of. For one, we have our Photo 101. Now, for some of you who know your stuff, you may just need a refresher, and so this may be beneficial. But this is made for someone who doesn't know a whole lot about their camera, who doesn't, who may be able to create beautiful images, but doesn't know all the tools. So this class is kind of like if you were to go out in your garage and pull out the toolbox. This would be a class on the toolbox and all the tools that are in it. So we pull out a hammer and we say, that's a hammer. It's called a hammer. Here's what it does, and here's where it goes. Here's a screwdriver. Here's what it does, and here's where it goes. So we go through a bunch of the tools that you find on a camera. Now, there's over 100,000 combinations of tools, so obviously we don't go through all of them. But we go through the major ones that I have found up to 80% of pros don't even know all of. Yeah. There was one time, maybe 10 years ago. By the way, I have a rule with my teachers that, by the way, this will be taught by Jack Braden. But I have a rule with my teachers that if they want to teach a class, they must take it first. And this particular teacher, this is not Jack that I'm talking about, it was someone else. This particular teacher was a master photographer. And I'm telling this master photographer he's got to take this Photo 101 class, which in my mind is, I don't know, I'm kind of doubting myself just a little bit because, I mean, that's my rule, but what am I doing? Who am I to tell a master to go take a basics class? Well, after the very first of, you can see it's 5 2-hour sessions. After the very first one, he came up to me and he said, Jim, I can't believe how much I didn't know. I'm not qualified to teach this class. And he didn't. He taught a whole bunch of other classes. He may not even remember saying that to me, but it made an impact on me. Because we have, because of technology, the ability to jump straight to the pretty stuff, just bypassing all of the basics. And because we create beautiful work, don't even realize that we've bypassed it. Here's an opportunity to find out. All right. So the instructor has 30 years of experience. That's Jack. You're going to become comfortable with the basics. You're going to get to know your camera, of course, using ISO, shutter speeds, f-stops, focus system, color balance, lenses, filters, all that kind of good stuff. It is a great entry-level class, 5 2-hour sessions. And it's on sale today. It's a Labor Day sale, and it's 15% off. So go to landersphotoschool.com. landersphotoschool.com, click on classes, and find Photo 101 if you want that one. Now, there's also a Photo 102 that we call Creative Photography, and that one is on sale as well, and it happens immediately following this. So you could do Photo 101 and then Photo 102, or you could jump straight to Photo 102. But again, it's called Creative Photography. And then we have a new one that's called Intro to Portrait Photography. Now, we've had lots of portrait photography classes before. We've got posing and lighting classes. We have photographing your own family. We have lots of different ones. Studio. But what we realized was people want something a little more basic before that. That includes an overview and then 2 of the 5 sessions in studio and 2 of the 5 sessions out on location. So that's what this one is about. Intro to Portrait Photography, and it's on Saturdays, so that might be convenient for some of you, and not so convenient for others. And finally, Photo 101, Photoshop 101. Now, this one is normally taught by someone else, but this one is going to be taught by Jack Braden. Daniel Grove normally teaches this class for me, and has for several years. I think 3 years, 4 years. But this particular one is being done by Jack. So all 4 of these that I've just mentioned are being taught by Jack Braden. And they'll be taught in his studio that is real close to the airport. So Photoshop 101. This one is 4. The other ones were 5 2-hour sessions. This is 4 2-hour sessions. You're going to learn the major tools, the creative uses of those tools. And again, he has 30 years plus of experience. So that's Photoshop 101. Again, go to landersphotoschool.com, click on classes, and you can see those 4 classes. And don't forget, enter in at checkout 15 off. Now, I also want to remind you, do that when you go to Digital Pro Lab's website too. When you order prints from Digital Pro Lab for this week, I want you to enter in 15 off. And just like what I mentioned for Landers Photography School, you're going to get 15% off of whatever it is you purchase from Digital Pro Lab. So that's digitalprolab.com. And I guess I should be putting that on my screen. So let's do that real quick. There it is. Go to digitalprolab.com. Order your prints, whatever it is you want. And then at checkout, enter in promo code 15 off. 150FF. No spaces. 15 off. So that's digitalprolab.com. And of course, if you're wanting classes, go to landersphotoschool.com. landersphotoschool.com. All right. Man, I'm glad you guys are here with me today. I want to tell you about the upcoming shows that we have. And we've got some interesting ones coming up. I think you're going to enjoy them. On the second Monday of every single month, we do a panel. And the panel this time will be what I do to grow as a photographer. Now, our panels, we bring in three people to give their opinions. So, on every other day, you're hearing my opinion, and you sometimes get to hear Amanda's opinion too. In fact, a lot of times, and we, of course, enjoy that and encourage that and want to hear the opinions of several different people. But this one, you get to hear the opinions of three different photographers, and sometimes they're similar, other times they're very different. But it's kind of like looking at a statue and describing it from your point of view, but not walking around it, getting below it, getting above it. And then having someone else explain it from a different point of view. Your understanding becomes more full. And I like to say your understanding of something is generally two-dimensional until you've added in the opinions of others. Always seek the opinions of others, even if you know it's going to be tough and difficult. I'd say especially because it's going to be tough and difficult, because that's good for our minds. Things being too easy, everything going your way, that's ideal. You want that, but that's not really beneficial for growth. So on the second Monday of every single month, we have a panel of three to talk about a certain subject. Again, today or next week, it's what I do to grow as a photographer. And we move that time from noon, when we do it all the time. It's always at noon, except for the second Monday when we move it to 6:30 in the evening. So this coming Monday, it's at 6:30. It's not at noon. It's the second Monday of every single month that we do that. So put that on your calendar. And then I also want you to put, let's see, the next one. So in 2 weeks, I want you to put procedures for a Black Friday sale on your calendar. So that one is September 19th at noon. So put that on your calendar right now. 6:30 for next week on the 12th. And then on September 19th, noon. Procedures for a Black Friday sale. Now, the reason I've chosen Black Friday is not because I feel like there's any significance or any special thing about Black Friday. What you learn on this particular show will be how to run a sale promotion. But we're going to pick on one that you could actually do, because when we present it, it will be 9 weeks away. So right now it's 11 weeks away. Yeah, Black Friday is 11 weeks away. Yeah, not far away. So there is that. Put that on your calendar. And then I want to share with you one other thing. And I don't have the slide handy. All right. Oh, before I share that one other thing, the end of this month, the last show of this month, on September 26th, is the little extras you can do today that help you grow your business. The little things. There's a lot of little things. And we creators kind of like those little things. They're a good diversion, something we could get done in a short period of time. But they will help to grow your business. There's a lot of things that help grow your business. We're going to share some of those on September 26th. Please put that on your calendar. Now, on October 16th, if you're here in San Antonio, I'm bringing this. I'm doing this show from my home in San Antonio, Texas. I know some of you are watching from all over. Most of you, though, are here in San Antonio. But for those of you who are here, I want you to know the 10th annual San Antonio Photography Tournament is coming up on October 16th. And you can get more information by going to landersphotoschool.com. There's a banner that rotates, right? A big banner that rotates in the top. The very first one is information about the tournament. You can also go to saphotoevents.com. saphotoevents.com to get more information about the tournament. So 10th annual San Antonio Photography Tournament. Now, this is a fun tournament. This is a diversion. This is not to see who the best photographer in the area is. No, this is for fun. We have 15 different categories. It's an instant gratification photographer's challenge, meaning you get that list when you get there in the morning, 8 o'clock. Then we go over the rules, and we release you to go photograph in every category that you choose to participate in. And then before lunch, you submit those photographs. And while you're having lunch, the judges are doing their job. And after lunch, we announce the winners. We'll have certificates printed that you get right then and there for first, second, and maybe a handful of honorable mentions. I don't know if we're going to do 1, 2, or 3, but there will be certificates for all of those. Plus, there will be prizes for the first and the second. Maybe even honorable mention, we'll see. But there will be first and second prizes, and then an overall, best overall winner, and a couple of 1 or 2 runner-ups. So that's coming. By the way, in the past, we've had prizes that are the accumulation total prizes worth between $20,000 and $72,000. I won't know how much the value of the prizes are until really that day. But there's a lot of businesses that support you as photographers. They think you're pretty darn awesome, and so they help out with this, and Digital Pro Lab is one of the major sponsors. So I encourage you to jump in on this. This is fun. It's a lot of fun. And if you don't win something, you're still going to think it's a blast. It's going to be great. So go to landersphotoschool.com, click on that banner, and you'll get more information on the 10th annual San Antonio Photography Tournament. All right. Good. I'm glad you're going to be there, Stacia. Stacia just said, so excited for the tournament. I'm glad you are. And I see Steve is here, and Steve is the sponsorship chair. So whatever that amount of stuff that we get, it'll be because of his efforts. So thank you, Steve, for all that you do. Thank you for being here, and thank you for all you do for the photography community. We appreciate you. And speaking of people who we appreciate, I want to do a shout out to someone who touches the lives of so many people in the area and beyond, the co-owner of Digital Pro Lab, Amanda Dominguez. And her words of encouragement, her team, they are causing us as photographers to look like heroes. They're doing huge amounts of work to elevate us. And so thank you to Amanda and her team, because they are wonderful at supporting us. And one more time, remember, 15 off, both for Digital Pro Lab and for Landers Photo School. We have the exact same promo code, 15 off, no spaces. Man, I'm glad you guys are here today. You guys are wonderful. You rock. You make the world a better place because of what it is that you do, the efforts that you make, the long-term value of what you create. And you don't take pictures. No. You create beautiful, emotional images that last well beyond a lifetime. For Landers Photography School and Digital Pro Lab, I'm Jim Landers, bringing you the weekly Portrait Profit Show, giving you evolving content, awareness, and even fun to the business side of photography. Through helpful information, step-by-step processes, and action steps that will help you with the struggles you deal with today, so that you are constantly realigned to the path that leads to the success you deserve. Be here every Monday to experience a different way of looking at the business side of photography. And thank you for investing your time here at the Portrait Profit Show. Bye-bye for now.